Hey, good Tuesday evening, everyone. It is weather for Weather Geeks time. A lot to get to tonight, so let's get right to it. First of all, if you were watching 21 News at 6, you no doubt saw that Bob Black announced his retirement this evening. Not retiring tonight, but his last day will be November 30th. But we announced it on the air this evening, and Bob is just a legend in this market. He's a great guy to work with, totally down to earth. What you see is what you get with Bob. He's not some sort of, anchor diva, if you will, that you see a lot of times in this business. Bob is the real thing, and we're going to miss him tremendously. So congratulations to Bob on his impending retirement. And if you want to read all about Bob and his retirement, you can head over to WFMJ.com and click on the story on our webpage. All right, weather-wise today, we're going to talk about the Akron plane crash in just a second. First of all, some rainfall totals across the region today from some of our rain gauges. A little over an inch, Boardman and Latonia. A little more than that down towards Lisbon and Guilford Lake. East Palestine, about 3/4 of an inch. Had about an inch towards Negley. I got a report from there. Canfield, about the same as Austintown, 8/10, 9/10 of an inch. Newton Falls, about 3/4 of an inch. So pretty healthy amount of rain earlier on today. Now, I put together a little animation here. Let me try to size this so it'll fit correctly in my window here. Of course, the investigation will be ongoing as far as the plane crash goes over in the Akron area this afternoon. Unfortunately, several fatalities with that. One of the things that no doubt there'll be a focus on is the weather. It was not raining very hard, but it was probably misting or drizzling a little bit. And while there wasn't a tremendous amount of true fog, low visibility right at the ground, the cloud bases, or the ceilings, if you will, were very, very low. So, in other words, the distance from the ground to the bottom of the clouds, probably on the order of 400 to 500 feet based on some of the observations at the local airports. So that could have had something to do, let me bring that back so it doesn't end like that. That may have had something to do, again, just speculating, but it may have had something to do with the plane crash. The pilot may not have been able to negotiate these low cloud bases. So, of course, we'll have more information on that coming up on 21 News at 11 tonight, but I did want to throw out there that the weather was not great for flying around the Akron area this afternoon. All right, here's a look at the radar this evening at about 8 p.m. We're left with mist and drizzle, and it's just kind of a damp and kind of miserable evening out there, if you will. Not very nice, but the steady, heavy rain that we had earlier on is now pushed well out to the east. A little hard to see on the infrared satellite, but there's a back edge to the cloudiness that's kind of right through here. It's going to take all night for this back edge to slowly meander east. So I think by daybreak, the back edge is kind of like here. And so we might start with clouds for the first hour or two of daylight tomorrow. But I do think we'll break into the sunshine fairly quickly by mid to late morning across the Mahoning and Shenango valleys. The infrared satellite, always cool to look at various weather features. This is a tropical system named Kate that's out over the Atlantic. No harm to the U.S. there. Big storms out west, a lot of mountain snow and all sorts of rain, and classic El Nino look to things with a stormy western U.S. and a fairly benign and not all that cold east. Now, it's chilly and damp this evening, but for the middle of November, it's still not that bad. Temperatures across the country look like this. Again, most of the cold is out to the west. All right, tomorrow for Veterans Day, it's going to be a better day. I'm going to skip kind of past tomorrow because it's an uneventful day. We'll have the sunshine working in for the afternoon. All right, then as we get into Thursday, this is the next system to impact our weather, and this will be on Thursday. Let me bring up the NAM model here for Thursday the 12th. This is going to be a system that's going to be rapidly deepening out across the Midwest, the upper Midwest especially, center of that low by Thursday morning over Wisconsin. A lot of wind with this. Notice the isobars are packed close together here. I do think there'll be a couple of showers around in the pre-dawn hours on Thursday. The daylight hours may not be all that wet. There'll be a shower here and there, but we're not going to see as much rain as we saw today on Thursday. The bigger story is going to be the wind. Here we go by the afternoon. Again, not much in the way of precipitation shown, but when you look at the wind fields, especially in western Ohio, we're going to see some gusts to 45 or 50 miles an hour out towards Toledo. I think locally, we could see a 40-mile-per-hour gust a couple of times, midday and afternoon on our Thursday, so a blustery day. And we're not going to get a break from the wind on Friday. It's still very windy here on Fridays. This low continues cranking over the southeastern part of Canada. We'll see strong northwest winds, and Friday's going to be a chillier day, so it's going to be a cold, biting wind on Friday. Not much more than a shower for high school football playoff games Friday evening, but it's going to be windy and it will be chilly. And yes, indeed, as we go into Friday night and Saturday morning, a little blue showing up here on our maps. I think there can be some snow flurries Friday night and early Saturday. Don't think it sticks to much more than car tops and that sort of thing. No big deal, but yeah, you might see some snowflakes around overnight Friday night into Saturday morning. So just a little bit of a winter preview here. We're in a pattern, though, that does not support sustained cold. A couple of days here and there. That's about it. Notice the trend here in the 16-day GFS ensemble. Here's our cool down Friday and Saturday, but by Sunday we're right back above average. Average by early next week is around 50. So all of this is above average next week and into next weekend. And these numbers could even be a little underdone. We could pop in a 60 here and there. So this is a warm pattern that's going to take us through mid-month. Here's the 8 to 16 day outlook on the GFS ensemble model. Look at the just total flip over what we've seen the last couple of winters. The west is going to be cold. The east is going to be warmer than average. That doesn't mean it's going to be 80 degrees, but warmer than average in mid-November can be 55. So again, a cold day, a chilly day here and there, but no sustained week-long periods of cold. And this may be a real preview of what at least the first half of the winter will bring. Here's the climate model for December. Very similar look to November. Most of the cold, if there is any, will be out in here, the southern tier of states and into the southwestern U.S., while the northern tier up into the northeast, the Ohio Valley, should be warmer than average in December and perhaps by quite a bit. Yes, there'll be some cold days, but overall the theme is warmer than average, probably right through the end of the year and maybe into a good chunk of January. Remember, for our winter forecast, you can find that video under seasonal forecasts on my weather blog, ericwfmj.com. Well, tonight for Bob's retirement announcement, former 21 News chief meteorologist Mark Kuntz was in the house. So it was nice to see Mark this evening, catch up with him for a few minutes. He hadn't been back in a couple of years, and it's always interesting when you go back to a place that you haven't been to, how some things just never seem to change, and then some things change quite a bit. It's always kind of an interesting feeling when you visit a place like that. So anyway, Mark's doing well. He says hi to everyone, and it was great to see my predecessor here at 21 News this evening. I'll see you tonight on 21 News at 11. Have a great Tuesday night, everyone.